Hello and a very warm welcome to Boson's Botany. Um, Before continuing with the xylem elements or components of xylem, actually, I have missed a very important point regarding sclerenchyma and basically about sclerites, which was a type of sclerenchyma or subdivision of sclerenchyma. And after that, I will continue with components of xylem. So, sclerenchyma, which is a complex permanent tissue, sorry, simple permanent tissue, the third type of simple permanent tissue, and under sclerenchyma, sclerites is a type of sclerenchyma. And further, sclerites is divided into five main categories on the basis of thickening of wall or wall thickening. And these are astrosclerite, brachysclerite, macrosclerite, osteosclerite, and trichosclerite. So let's start. Astrosclerite. The cells are star shaped. Astro means stars, star. So the cells are star shaped, found in the leaves of Nymphea. It is a water plant or aquatic plant. So it is present in leaves of Nymphea. Astrosclerites are star shaped cells. Brachysclerites, also known as stone cells. The cells are short, rough, isodiametric. It means the shape, the boundaries, the edges, the structure, the length, everything is same regarding brachysclerites. So isodiametric in nature. The cells are isodiametric, short, rough, and commonly known as stone cells because they are very hard and found in the pulp of fruits like pyrus, which is commonly known as pear. So pear's scientific name is pyrus, and pyrus is the fruit whose pulp has brachysclerite. Now macrosclerite, the name itself giving you an idea about its elongated structure. So it is elongated or columnar and columnar, found in seeds and fruits. Osteosclerites. Osteo means bone. So bone or barrel shaped cells, and the ends are dilated. The ends are not very clear, very prominent. They are not prominent and they are dilated, found in the leaves and seed coats of monocots. So osteosclerites are found in the leaves and seed coats of monocots. The last one is trichosclerite. Tricho means hairs. In botany, this term is very much used. Tricho means hair. So trichosclerites, hair-like cells, may be branched, found in intercellular spaces in the leaves and stem of some hydrophytes and in the aerial roots of Monstera. So these are the five main categories of sclerites. Now I am starting with xylem components or xylem elements, and the third type of xylem element is vessel or vessels. Vessels are elongated tube-like cells or tissue, you can say, but whatever you want to say, elongated tube-like tissue or cell with many vessel elements. So this is the only xylem element or xylem component having union of several vessel elements. It is a type of component which is composed of several vessel elements. There are many elements forming vessel. Dead cells. So vessels have dead cells. End walls are completely dissolved to make simple perforation plates. This is a very unique feature about vessels. The end plates or the end walls, I will give you the diagram later on. So the end walls are completely dissolved. They are not in a continuation manner. They are not present in a continuation manner, but they are dissolved to make simple perforation plates. But in some primitive angiosperms, end walls are intact with many pores known as multiple perforation plates. So commonly simple perforation plates are found in several cases, but in few angiosperms, or you can say in primitive angiosperms, the end walls are intact with many pores and therefore known as multiple perforation plates. Perforation means pores or holes. Present in some gymnosperms and almost in every angiosperms. You can mention, this gnatals should be here for gymnosperm. I have written against angiosperms. So found in some gymnosperms, for example gnatals, and mostly in all angiosperms, but totally absent in pteridophytes, but found in some species of uh, Selaginella and Pteridium. So Selaginella and Pteridium are two important genuses of pteridophytes, and the species of these two genuses, that is Selaginella and Pteridium, have vessels. So vessels are found in some gymnosperm, for example in gnatals, mostly in every angiosperms, totally absent in pteridophytes, but found in some species of Selaginella and Pteridium. Now angiosperms without vessels there are three main angiosperms without vessels, and these are primitive type of angiosperms, and the three main categories are Winteraceae, Trochodendroaceae and Tetracenteraceae. So these are three primitive type of angiosperms in which vessels are present. Vessels are absent. So angiosperms, in most angiosperms or in every angiosperms, vessels are there, but these three are the main types of angiosperms which are primitive in nature without vessels: Winteraceae, Trochodendroaceae and Tetracenteraceae, formed by the union of procambium derivatives of cambium. So due to the union of procambium forming cambium, or basically representing cambium, these procambium will fuse to form vessels, and during this process of fusion the end walls are lost. So as I have already mentioned before, the end walls are completely dissolved, and this happens during the fusion of procambium to form vessels. The end walls get lost. So now I will give you the diagram of vessels, and then I will continue with my topic. So this is the diagram for vessel or vessels. So if you consider a vessel, and this is a vessel element, there are many such elements forming a vessel. So this is a vessel element, this is another vessel element, this is another. So there are many vessel elements forming a vessel. Now as you can see, there are no partitions or no separations between two vessel elements. So the end walls are dissolved. As you can see, there's no such wall formation or no such partition is there to separate two vessel elements or the cellular contents of vessel elements, and therefore the end walls are dissolved. And why this is needed? There is a reason, and the most important reason for wall dissolution is water conduction or mineral conduction. For a continuous conduction of mineral and water, this is needed, that is, end walls should be dissolved for a continuous water or mineral conduction. This is a thick wall which is highly lignified. This is a thick wall which is highly lignified, and the conduction is one way. I have drawn the arrows to represent a one-way conduction only. So there is no up up or down conduction, or down to up conduction, sideways conduction. No, there is only one way conduction, as you can see from these arrows. The last xylem element or xylem component is wood or xylem parenchyma. So from the name parenchyma, you should recall some important points, like this is the only and only xylem element which is living, because parenchyma is present and parenchyma itself is a living tissue. So this component of xylem has to be living. So wood or xylem parenchyma is the only living component of xylem. So wherever you see parenchyma written, without any hesitation, that particular cell or tissue has to be living, because parenchyma itself is a living tissue. So wood or xylem parenchyma is the only living component of xylem. The cells forming wood or xylem parenchyma are parenchymatous with very thin cellulosic cell wall or cellulosic wall. The cell wall is composed of cellulose, which is very thin, and because the cell wall is thin, the cells are living. Wood or xylem parenchyma is needed for lateral conduction of water and minerals. So this is a very important function of wood or xylem parenchyma, meant for lateral conduction of water and minerals. Also, it helps in storage of reserve food materials such as fat, starch and tannins. So also used as storage organ. The radial transverse series, commonly known as RTS, of the cells form the wood rays, or commonly known as wood or ray or xylem ray parenchyma. So a radial transverse section or radial transverse series of the cells form wood rays, commonly known as wood or ray or xylem ray parenchyma. So these are some important points regarding wood or xylem parenchyma, and this is the end of the first complex permanent tissue, xylem. And in my next video, the second complex permanent tissue, which is phloem, will be discussed. So keep watching my videos and just keep on upgrading yourself. Thank you for watching.